Hello, everyone. Hold on to your hats. We'll find out how this goes as we go on throughout the day. My name's Rich Wildman. You're watching MSI. You could be listening to it too, I suppose, but chances are you're watching it, or at least you're trying to watch it, as we all are. I don't know what's happening today. Anyway, if you've been in the pre-show chat or happen to hear what's going on, you can actually tell we've had to change servers a number of times, figure out what's going on. Hopefully, it was just the fact that there wasn't enough movement on screen to make things happen, but now there is, so we'll find out how things go and see if everything's working okay from this point on out. On Music Scene Investigation, for those of you who aren't familiar, we bring independent music to new listeners and to our panel who reviews and critiques them after hearing them just one time and one time only. That means they hear them first along with everybody else on the broadcast, which is very cool when you think about it because nobody else does this kind of thing. I think we're the only ones. In fact, I'm pretty sure of it. Anyway, we go ahead and review 3 songs every week. They're all chosen at random, so you never know what you're going to hear, and we never know what's going to be played before it gets played on air live. Of course, they are reviewed for content and time by me, but I'm the only one, so that's kind of the way that works out. Anyway, on today's show, we have 3 brand new songs. We have our panelists all here with us today. We're going to go around the room and meet everybody. So first of all, let's meet Mr. Ian Husbands. Hey, Ian, how are you, sir? Things going all right with you?
I would just like to say, if there is someone else out there doing this, we're not the only ones, but we did do it first.
Yeah, we've been doing this since
Yeah,
2010, late 2010, I believe.
I think so.
That's pretty good when you actually think about it.
That's a long time, Rich.
Yeah, it actually is. You don't feel old or anything, do you, Ian? I mean, the funny thing is, if you look at Ian's Twitter account, or not his Twitter account, but his Skype, if you happen to know his Skype account, and you look at his Skype account, you know how you can have those little taglines or whatever the case is. He's still celebrating our first birthday at MSI.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
Well, it was that much of a celebration, I thought I should still celebrate.
Well, you're doing a very fine job at it.
Yeah, too right. Every day I celebrate MSI.
Well, you know,
his first birthday.
it is the way it is, and we're glad you keep celebrating because somebody's got to do it.
Indeed.
So tell me, Ian, I've heard all kinds of things about the weather over there of late. I think the latest thing I've heard is that winter is not yet over there, and there are also a ton of flood warnings that have been put out for the area. So are you underwater yet? You getting snow? What the hell's going on there?
How come you, in the middle of nowhere, has heard about flood warnings and I haven't heard a thing?
Because I am that good.
Okay. Do I need to start building an ark?
I keep tabs. Now, I figured you already had an ark built. I mean, here last year, the year before, you were building an ark on the roof, if I remember correctly. So I kind of figured you already had that done.
Yeah, I didn't finish that. I turned it into a tree house.
That would probably work too.
I had to build the tree first.
Well, how far are you done?
Yeah. Building a tree takes a long time, I've realised.
I can imagine.
Well, it's certainly one strong enough to have a tree house in it.
All right. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. By the way, hello to Karki out in the chat room. Glad to see you join us along with Pinky, Tom, Box O Crap, our favorite Box O Crap, by the way. The janitor is here, Mr. Pinky. You can read about his thoughts on all the music we review on MSI after the fact on musicsceneinvestigation.com. Ian, you do have some witness statements from last week, don't you?
I do, and it's good news.
Well, before we get into that, though, I think we have a little matter we need to clear up because last week, Bill Evans from the Live to Play Network was supposed to be joining us on the broadcast.
He was.
And he didn't quite make it, did he, Ian?
No, he didn't, but he did send me an apology.
And can you tell us what happened? Is there any idea about what was going on? Was it just forgetfulness? Was it alien invasion? What happened?
I think it's old age setting in.
Is that what it is, really?
I think it is. I hate to say this live, Bill. Sorry, mate. But he'd fallen asleep.
Ah, well, that explains a lot.
He'd been gigging, he'd been working, and he was tired. And he fell asleep. And I think basically what his body is trying to tell him is that, he's not a young man anymore.
I could have told him that for free, and I wouldn't have charged him a darn thing to do it as well. Anyway, last week, Bill Evans was supposed to be here, and we're sorry he wasn't, but certainly hope he's okay right now and got enough sleep and all that good stuff. Last week, we had Cinema Nova on the show with their song Pandemic, along with Hard Talk Machine and Liars. And our song of the week selection was She Can Sing by Son of Strays. So, Ian, how'd the witness statements come out?
Everyone agreed with us. So that was good.
All right, you got numbers on that to prove it?
Across all the way. Yep. Best songwriting, performance, and mixing production, 100% of votes.
Really?
Really?
I'm surprised by that because there was talk in the chat room prior to the show ending that there were some holdouts for a couple of other songs.
Yeah, but that was one person mainly holding out in the chat room, and that was that stubborn janitor of ours. And if you read his cleanup this week, you'd know that he disagreed with us.
Yeah, he did. He disagreed quite vehemently, I think.
Something about wanting to wipe the floor with us or something.
Yeah, I think that was the word or the phrase he used. So I guess don't spill anything this week, otherwise we're in trouble.
No, I won't spill anything by accident.
I'm being told radio is good, radio is fine. Our video seems to still be up and running. I don't know how good it is, but it's running, so that's a plus anyway. All right, Ian, anything else to add before we move around the table?
Wibble.
Wibble. What does that mean?
Something else to add, isn't it?
Wobble, but they don't fall down.
No, that was Weebles. Weebles.
Don't know where he's going there.
It's your accent. I'm still trying to reacclimate myself to it.
There you go. That's our guest panelist. We'll get to him in a minute. That's Tom Chianti. First of all, I want to go out to Las Vegas, and I want to talk with Miss Andrea Bensmiller. Andrea, how you doing?
I'm good, Rich.
You pick up on my catchphrase there. How you doing? That whole Friends thing.
I'm glad to have some inside info on Bill.
Oh, you do?
Because you know that we live to give each other crap. So I'm going to text him right now and say, maybe I'll invite him to a dinner at 4 when old people eat.
Ow.
I like your style, Andrea. I like your style.
Yeah, we go back and forth a lot, so he'll love that. So what else is up, Rich?
Well, I haven't been keeping the weather on keeping track of the weather on Las Vegas like I do over in Europe. So I'm not really sure what's been going on out there where you are. So why don't you fill us in? I guess right now it's probably starting to turn into fall there based upon how far ahead you are in the seasons compared to the rest of the country.
Well, it's allergy season in Vegas. That's really all you need to know.
Well, yeah, I've heard stories that allergies are going to be super bad this year. Any truth to that since you're already into the midst of it?
Yeah, it's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. That's the news this year. It's been bad already. It's been 2 weeks of bad already. But when you mix water with trees and heat and wind, and it's all earlier than it's supposed to happen, then you get this,
Yeah. So this is something that we really haven't talked about on MSI, and we try and cover a lot of subjects that have to do with indie music and indie artists and how they cope and do what they do out there. Allergy season and indie artists. Now, obviously, not every indie artist is going to be affected by allergies, but there are probably a lot of singers out there that are. Have you ever ran into any, and how do they cope with that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, it's a really big topic here. It's really, really big. It affects everybody here. The singers especially, obviously. We all suffer in the midst of it. When I first got here, I was turned on to this stuff called Las Vegas Allergy Mix. It's actually a mixture of all the pollens. There's a bunch of stuff here that they've planted that doesn't grow here naturally in the desert. So those particular things like mulberry bushes and they tend to, in the desert, really go kind of crazy, and the pollens from those are the ones that really get you. So they sell this stuff that's a mixture of the pollens. You ingest it for a couple weeks, and it actually relieves a lot of the symptoms for some people, depending on who you are. So some of us use that, and then other people really just suffer. It's hard. I don't know if you followed any of the big performers that come to Vegas, but some of them cancel shows. Like Cher canceled a very large chunk of her shows at one year because of the wind, because of the allergies, and the fact that it's really challenging to sing in this stuff sometimes. So
Now, I see Pinky's making a joke out in the chat room, but I actually think this is a valid question. Aren't indie artists also allergic to record executives?
Not as much as the pollen.
yes, they're allergic to making good money too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, want to remind people, if you're having any issues whatsoever with our video, please take a look at MSI Radio, musicsceneinvestigation.com/radio. Everything looks to be rock solid there. I don't know what is going on with our ingestion servers, but apparently there are some issues out there. And of course, those are out of our hands because they're like across the water and around the world. Nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. Andrea, thank you for being with us. Everything is always better in Vegas.
Everything?
That's what I've heard.
I'll go with it. Let's go with it. I like it. I like it as a motto.
All right, sounds good. I want to see it on a water tower someplace. Everything is better in Vegas.
Can't argue with you.
There you go. All right, our guest panelist today, you know him, you love him. He actually started with us at the very beginning on Music Scene Investigation. He is a recording engineer of world renown. I mean, he's worked with everybody you can think of and probably some people you can't, I would imagine. Tom Chianti. Hey, Tommy, how are you, buddy?
I am watching Ustream superimpose Andrea's beautiful face over yours, and I am being horrified.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, you are a dark specter in cubicle form, and thank God her persona is so strong. It's shining through.
I'm pretty much thinking our video has stopped working, and at least you're telling me it's kind of there.
Stream Up went down for me.
Sort of like our hair, Rich.
Yeah, in other words, it's all stopped working, and we're just on the radio now.
It's just off to the side, nothing on top.
Yeah, all right. Makes sense to me.
Like his hair.
Yeah, kind of like it. In fact, I am growing it back a little bit. Just want to keep a little bit of hair there, just to let people know I can. So, Tommy,
just as a reminder.
Yeah, as a reminder. I'm not like you. I don't need a lot of hair. Just a little bit. All right, so my microphone is really giving me hell today. So, Tommy, let me ask you a question. What have you been up to since the last time you were on the broadcast with us? I know it's been a while, and we always love keeping up with you, keeping in touch, finding out what's going on. So fill us in. Let us know the latest about what's happening.
The latest, as your microphone cuts in and out?
Exactly.
I am doing my lifelong duty and tribute to the ongoing construction, improvement, and updating of the ever-evolving cube. I've got a time now to do some very serious below the radar projects, some that are going to take a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mentoring. I don't know whether it's something in the air, but many of my former assistants and students, and actually it's a good thing, after years and years of being interns or switching and having to do day jobs, night jobs, and they're calling up because they're actually getting placed. And asking, all the questions that I told them a long time. No, they're new situations, and so I keep touch with a lot of people, and one of the things I love to do, since I've been very, very fortunate, is give back. And unlike some small people, a small amount of people, when anyone gets a gig, I am very happy of them. And if it's someone I had a hand in helping, I am very proud. And that's been happening a lot. So that's good. So I may, I'm building a designed and built the second station. So I may be doing a pre or postgraduate classes, because there's just too much for any one particular school to teach.
Yeah.
And they go, a lot about tech and stuff like that. And, there is so much more involved in running a session, being involved in a professional session, than just getting sound up.
Well, I know that you actually have an extensive studio. I mean, when it comes right down to it, your microphone kit alone. We were talking about this earlier in the week or last week. Your microphone kit alone is impressive, just in how high you can stack those things.
Yeah, well, the old joke about the podcast, my microphone's bigger than yours.
Right.
Yeah, I noticed that happen. You talked about MSI starting in 2010, when we were all just, full of joy, and now we're all drained and waiting to go back to bed. No. I know you guys love it, and I know Andrea and James love it, and I really appreciate coming back. But in 2007, I started unscripted audio.
Right.
And I believe if I was not the first, I was pretty close there. And I'm no longer going to do that, because I did it on and off for well over 5 years and a lot of people find me through old unscripted audio, which you helped me with on many occasions, trying to run the tech while I tried to just dedicate to the audio. And I thank you.
Well, anytime.
But I realized the time for that is done. I mean, anyone with a computer, a microphone, and a digital audio workstation there's just a glut of these things on. And, some are excellent. Some actually have something we have never had called a bougette.
Is that like an outhouse or something where you can go out and relax or something after the show?
It's some French thing. I don't know. They have, mini skirted maids in dark dresses running around serving tea.
I'm recording there.
Yeah, right.
Just because they serve tea.
Yeah, and then one of the show's streams from a very famous, I believe it's in France. It's chateau or whatever they're called. It's a beautiful studio, and for very advanced students. And those are good. But I saw one where a gentleman insisted that you use only one reverb because you wanted everything in the same room. That may work for some people, but unfortunately, if you do that, and I do not, that's why I'm not mentioning the gentleman's name, the only room you're going to wind up in is the bathroom.
Yeah, that's true. Now, somebody out in the chat room, I think it's Pinky, wants to know whether or not you have a U47 microphone.
A Neumann?
He says U47. He didn't say Neumann, so you can just put in U47 on anything and say yes.
No, I don't. I believe the U47 is a classic tube Neumann, which right around now, street price is upwards around $30,000.
Ouch.
I have an extensive microphone collection and some very vintage mics and stuff, but my mics are more of the workhorse types. They're common in many studios. They're super adaptable, and that's all you really need. And everybody used to. I know you guys made thousands of jokes when I would do the show with a new microphone every
week.
And that goes back to the IC Weekly days.
Absolutely.
And as you can see, I've settled down to my one favorite here. And things are just going great. I've been doing some blogging and I think if the AES ever comes back to New York, I'll ask Bill to let me go and cover it for him because I took my son and he had a wonderful time being my cameraman and it all went great. So that's something, I think that's around October. So that's, something to look forward to. So there's always something coming up or something you've just finished. And I get to do it at my own pace, pick my own projects.
That's got to be one of the best things about running your own studio is you're doing everything at your own pace. You're not at anyone else's beck and call. You can just do it on your terms.
Yeah, but when you have to, of course, have a clear either contract or some written directive that gives guidelines and due dates and stuff. So, right. You have to, if you sign on to a project, you've got to do it, bring it in on time and on budget.
Right. No, I understand that,
yeah.
And I think that's got to be a tough thing to do. But it's unfortunate because I'd love to talk more about it, but unfortunately we do have timelines around here as well.
Yeah, I know. Shutting me up again.
It is. Tommy, I got to tell you, you want to talk all the time, you get your own show, damn it. No, I'm just kidding.
I will.
I'm kidding. I want to see you back in front of a camera out on streaming on the internet as well. I think that would be a great thing for you.
We have company.
Really? The cops?
No, Andrea has been visited by a spirit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did restart the stream, so the video may be good, maybe not. I don't know. But we do want to get to the music right now because we do have 3 songs we need to take a listen to today. So if we can do that, we certainly will. So let's go ahead and do so. Are you guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm going to hit play.
All right.
Yep,
Let's
do it.
go ahead and take a listen to track number 1 on today's music scene investigation, everybody. Here it is. This is song number 1 on today's MSI. Enjoy it, everyone.
Always saw you as my savior, but now I've got you, I can't contain you. My disillusion when I hold you is the weight of your heart on my shoulders. I can't hide from love that's tainted. It's not the picture my mind painted. Be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. There's trappings in desire, it will control you if you let it. Your affection should come with a warning. In the dusk of my house, the real you is dawning. See, I'm a dreamer, a make-believer, and I was in good health. You gave me a fever. I can't hide from love that's tainted. It's not the picture my mind painted. Be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. There's trappings in desire, it will control you if you let it. Be careful what you wish for, because you know it might come true. Be careful what you wish for and what it might do to you. See, I'm a dreamer, a make-believer. Careful what you wish for. Careful what you wish for. I was in good health, you gave me fever. Careful what you wish for. See, I'm a dreamer, a make-believer. Careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. There's trappings in desire, it will control you if you let it. Be careful what you wish for, because you know it might come true. Be careful what you wish for and what it might do to you.
All right, that is track number 1 on today's music scene investigation, and we're going to go over and talk to our panel, find out what they think about the tracks as they hear them. Let's start out with Ian Husbands. First of all, track number 1, over to you, Ian. What do you think about it?
Yeah, there's a lot I like about this. I think there might be an English band or artist.
No kidding?
Just guess. But I reckon definitely a fan of Ian Brown. Ian Brown was the singer of Stone Roses, and he'd done a sort of solo album, and it had that sort of trip-hoppy, ambient feel to it that this song's captured rather well, to be honest. I liked his vocals. I liked the use of the accent. I liked the lyrics, and I liked the vocal effects going on in the background as well. I did find overall the mix was quite unbalanced. That beat was hot, really hot. And overall, I found the mix very bright, too bright. You know, it's a very dark track, and I think, you know, the reverbs could have been a bit darker, and just the whole ambience of the track could just roll out some of the top end of the EQ on that and give it a bit more roundness in the mids. But yeah, I liked where he's going. I liked the soundscape. I liked the simplicity of it. I would have liked to heard the beats mix it up a little bit. It did get repetitive, that beat. Again, I know where he was coming from. I know what he was trying to do. It was a good groove that he got going. But, you know, where he was stuttering the vocals, that was nice. That worked. I would like to hear some of that maybe on the snare drum or the clicks or whatever they were. Even on the kick, you know, just mix it up a little bit, give it a bit of a feel. And I think, you know, with a bit more work on the arrangement, you've got a pretty good track here, and get that mix right and get them, you know, not as bright. You've got pretty much a good track here that, if with a good remix and a slight arrangement, you could get out there and see what he does.
All right. I appreciate it, Ian. Thank you. Over to Andrea Bensmiller. Andrea, track number 2. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I liked it a lot
1.
too.
That's track
number
I'm getting
1.
ahead of myself.
Yeah. Slow that down there.
I know it. I know.
All right. Good night, guys. I'll see you in a couple of months.
Yeah, I liked it too. It's an interesting track. I liked the voice, nice and solid. I like the melodic hook. The drum beat overall, I liked. I thought it was too hot too. It was a little dominating in the track. I didn't so much dig the flamming kick part of it. I think that ruined the groove just a little bit. I don't know why. It just hit me that way. I like all the spacey sounds. I think there was some spacey background vocal parts in there and some cool kind of paddish things, and I thought that all worked. I only have one slight criticism, and that's that it got a little bit redundant, and that was really because there wasn't much form or harmony going on, so it started to feel a little like it was all the same. The hook kept coming back with the chorus line, and it's a really, really nice chorus, so that, you know, it's not annoying or anything, but it did seem like it could benefit from a little bit of structure, maybe some different sections where something changes. But overall, yeah, I really liked it. Great track. I think it's nicely recorded. I agree with Ian about the balance. Things were a little bit too overshadowing in some places, especially that drum beat. But overall, really, really nice.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Now to Tom Chianti, the guy who wants to take off for a couple of months, but we're not going to let him. You got a job to do, Tommy. You're stuck with it, my friend. What do you think of track number 1?
Well, actually, I listened to you and I played track number 3.
Oh, well, that's normal.
No, honestly, I believe I was listening to the same track as everybody, but as far as trip hop and trap drums, those I don't think were flams. Those were mistriggers. This programming might have been a live type of drum machine. It was misfiring. It was early. The claps were late. The tracks were shifting all over the place on the rhythm track. I have no problem with the kick being that big or loud. There are 360 degrees and a 3D space to mix in. There is more than enough space to make stuff as loud or as soft as you want, as long as you give it its own space. This had everything in similar spaces, too close to allow that type of mixing to go. I mean, I love the idea. I like the simplicity. And the only thing I didn't like about the redundancy was the groove was out of time. It kicks and snare and claps and traps were coming in 20, 30 clicks early, late. It was sliding. And it could have been that they just hooked everything up and ran it and recorded it all at the same time, and it just didn't lock. The second half of the song sounded a lot closer to a really good groove than the first half, and that was my main problem with it. It didn't really lock together as a solid groove or beat until way into it. Everything else, you know, I liked the sounds. I definitely understood where he was coming from. The stuttering vocals were cool, and if you're going to glitch, Ian's right. You should, glitch the snare a bit and the kick, but not misfire. Actually, glitch it. And so there's a great idea here that just really needs to lock itself to itself. Unless, this is some new style where you stutter, come in early, come in late, and make a very robotic, jerky beat. That's what I got from it, but definitely the balance should be redone, and as everybody agrees, and if he can find the time to create the special spaces, use a whole bunch of different reverbs and delays and stuff, so that every sound has its nice, fully furnished, separate home, so to speak, with all its trimmings. So that being done, that being said, let's move on.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you. Thank you all. Track number 1 is called Be Careful. It's by 24th Element. We appreciate their sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. If you want to get your track in front of our panel, go to musicsceneinvestigation.com. Click on Submit a Song at the top of the page, and it'll go into the mix on our servers, where 3 are selected randomly every week. 2 more songs today to listen to, everyone. So let's take it to track number 2. Find out what our panel thinks of it right after they hear it. This is track number 2 on the broadcast today, everyone. Enjoy track number 2 on today's MSI.
Break her apart, credit cards been stolen, car GPS, all a bad queen. But I'm in the club fresh, man, yo doggy hit the blunt and hit my chest and made my face all ugly. 2-step through the crowd, all the way to the bar. Now my cup run up over, holla bless to the gods and my squad, cause we more Gucci Mane, Lil Wayne, Cocolano, John Gotti, is you feeling me, man? Think thing up in front of me, I caught my chief feel, she turned around and took the blunt from me, and now I spoil a hundred, something when they can't. Quickly cut loose and hit a killer dance move. We gon' party like it's 99. 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 Jon Oh, baby, I'm the rap game prince, and I don't wanna beat if she don't got some French tips. They say I'm petty for so many reasons. I call it seasoning. Your missus dad with my accent, now she's heated. You drop my soap, but I don't need it. I'm that sweetness, no roll, bounce. If my dogs bark, it will be bow. Wow, everyone else still hit the floor. Even me if I hit the dough, it's like we gaining grand hustle. Everyone hit your draw, it's a Jon Oh thing, baby. I do your main lady, and I'm blue, never get it. That's game, baby, but you can call it red ring. Got your Xbox on lock, and you can't do a thing. Shit. It's on. You don't need to rap no more. My new name, dance party. We gon' party like it's 99. 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 fast overdose like damn, I did that, bro. We gon' party like it's 99. 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 We gon' party like it's 99.
That is track number, I think it's track number 2 on today's show, and we're going to find out what our panelists think about it as soon as I can get my video working again. There it is. All right. Going to start out with Andrea this time around. Andrea, track number 2 over to you. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I like this a lot. Everybody knows I'm a big rap fan, and I thought this was really, really well done, very authentic. I like the sound of the 2 vocals in the verse section. The production was good. I liked the synth line sounds. It was very, very Dr. Dre-ish to me, this particular track and its production. Drum track, really nice and grooving, like the drum choices. In the chorus, the left voice, for me, it came in hard left. I don't know about anybody else, and it was the more prominent of the 2 voices, a little shrill, and it stuck out for that reason. And I don't know if that was the point, but I thought it was a little bit too much. It just kind of dominated everything when we got to the chorus. And that mix on the chorus for the vocal, for me, was a little bit wide. It was hard right and left on those 2 voices. I didn't hear anything in the middle. And it took it definitely as a contrast from the verse and the chorus, from middle to the sides, but it really, really went way out to the sides. And that may have just been me, but I would have liked it a little bit closer so that they still sounded like they belonged together. Between the distance and how much high end was on that left side was a little bit much. It's something that you would hear on the radio. I think it had some really, really, great moments in the vocal parts. And it's an interesting hook because Party Like It's 1999 is so old now. Let's go back to the Prince tune. I remember 99. And I think we thought it would be a bigger party than it was. But it's interesting. Are we talking about 2099 now? Because it seems like it's so far in the past. But it's a decent idea, and if it works for people, it works. But overall, I really liked the track. Yeah, I thought it was really well done. Some mixed things that could be fixed for sure, but authentic to everything. Good rapper, nice energy. I liked it a lot.
All right, I appreciate that, Andrea. Over to Mr. Tom Chianti. Tommy, track number 2 is right up your alley. What do you think about that?
Well, I agree with Andrea on a lot that this is really well produced. And it's a good example of what I was saying about things having their own spaces and stuff. There were, delays drifting as the vocals, they did go a little wide, but the delays between the switching gave it a nice little 3D effect. And this is definitely almost there. And I understand because I used to work a lot with Eric Sermon, and he was really big on making sure everything had a nice tight edge, and the vocals just punched you in the face. And the edginess and the top end overall and the upper mids was a little overpowering. I have no problem with the production. That Party Like It's 99, I still think we could wait a decade or two before we can call that retro. It was a little bit, I don't know, when it first came in, it let me down a bit because, like I said, the production is top notch, and the mix is really close to being there, and I like the spatial representations and the balances. Yeah, they changed a little bit, like somebody decided I'm not loud enough or this isn't loud enough. It could be ear fatigue, why they made it so bright or whatever, or they're playing too loud. You know me, I'm a proponent of moderate listening levels, so you don't get your ears, too fatigued. Also, when you play your mixes and mix on the big guys, and the whole room gets saturated with low-end frequency waves, and those are huge waves, and people don't realize that a lot of engineers will open doors and windows to let that energy, and it's all energy, and if you mix really loud, you're filling up the room, and especially rap, you've got that big bottom. So I don't know what it was, because I really think whoever put this together really paid attention to things. And my only complaint really was that it was a little too edgy, a little not bright, harsh. There we go. Harsh is the word. But outside of that, that's something you can fix in mastering. And I really, really enjoyed this.
All right. I appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you. Ian Husbands, what do you think? Track number 2.
Yeah, the guys have summed it up, really. The production on this is slick. Yeah, there are a few mix issues that could be ironed out, but it's pretty slick as it is. Really, really like the rapping style. Yeah, the hook got me as well. I was sitting here pondering, is that what they want on this track? Let's party like it was nearly 20 years ago, or 15 years ago at least. Yeah, I think be a bit more creative with the hook. Find something a bit more now. Because the rest of the track is brilliant, except I didn't like the middle 8. It felt like a guy had come in to sort of do his part in the middle 8 just to make the other rapper look really good. I didn't feel him. I didn't feel he sat in the track very well. I didn't feel lyrically it was sort of matching up with what else was going on. My opinion. It seemed a bit disjointed, that middle 8, with that break of rapper and a different style, and it just didn't fit the rest of the track, in my opinion. So, yeah, but I mean, the rest of it's pretty bang on. Besides that hook, change that hook and change that middle 8, and I love this track otherwise.
All right. Well, I appreciate that as well. Track number 2 on today's broadcast is called Dance Party 99. It's from Jon Oh. By the way, Jon Oh is a.k.a. Mr. Dance Party. So there you are, John. We appreciate your sending that track into Music Scene Investigation as well. Now, let's take a listen to track number 3, the last track on today's broadcast. Find out what everybody thinks about it right after we hear it. This is track number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy it, everyone.
Possibilities are
All right, well, there you have track number 3 on the broadcast today. We're going to start it out with Tom this time around. So, Tommy, tell me what you think about track number 3.
Interesting. Let's put the drum snare on one side, the kick drum and the bass sort of in the middle. And, I think this, I like the song. The lyrics really didn't grab me. It was very straightforward. I'm sure Ian will be able to tell them exactly what they need. And, the main thing that distracted me is either bad miking or phase issues that offset. It sounded like, one of the early stereo experiments of the Beatles with the kick on one side and the snare on the other. But I think it's a lot to do with phase because the bottom was in the middle, but the lead guitar kind of drifted. I know there were 2 of them. And it was just very distracting to hear the snare and most of the kit coming out of, I think it was my left side. And this, could have been anybody's fault. The guy who put the overheads up had them backwards, or there was a ton of bleed from one of the toms or something. There's a lot of reasons this can happen, and maybe the engineer didn't have the time to, try to correct these things. So overall, a pleasant sounding mix, but definitely placement problems. And, it was a little safe, but, harmless. Something that, you could listen to at a party or while you read a book or something, but definitely needs that drum kit to be tightened up and the pannings set correctly. And it could just be something that wasn't noticed until they actually had to mix and they didn't have time to do it. But it was okay,
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Tommy. Thank you. Over to Ian now. And Ian, what do you think about this particular track number 3?
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on. Some really great performances going on here. And I think Tommy said, about the Beatles reference. It was as if like the Beatles done country, to my mind, which isn't a bad thing, I suppose. Or is it? I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. I felt the mix was very hot and very bright again. There was a lot of top end going on there. And that vocal, the layering was nice and some good harmonies going on, but I didn't feel it was very solid in the mix. Again, I think it was down to use of reverbs and EQing. Yeah. The other thing that didn't really bother me, but I sort of stuck out for me was there was kind of like this really defined verse, which sounded great. And then they kind of meandered into this sort of pre-chorus, which kind of was a bit disjointed. And then kind of went into a chorus, which didn't really develop into much, and then went back again. And it kind of didn't really sort of have that definition of parts from the point of view of transitional energy and dynamics. It kind of just meandered through it and sort of didn't really lift or fall in any sort of sense. Again, I think getting that vocal back in the mix properly and getting it more solid would have helped. Yeah, there was a lot of conga action going on in my left ear. There's obviously a percussionist, and he sounded like he was very good. I said, performance-wise, across the board, it was pretty good. I did find the drummer a little bit safe in places, to the point I was wondering, is this a loop? Or is this a real drummer? I think it was a real drummer, but I did find it very safe. I'd like to hear a bit more feels and a bit more energy coming from him. I mean, yeah, there's elements of a good track here, and there's obviously a good band here. A remix on this, and just to think about that, the transitions between the verse to the pre-chorus to the sort of chorus, and I think you've got developing a great track.
All right, well, good enough. I appreciate that. Over to Andrea. Andrea, track number 3. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to echo a lot of what was said already, especially by Ian, my twin.
Yeah, you look
because,
alike. You look exactly alike.
Right there, sister.
My twin we're separated at birth somehow. Yeah, the mix, I have the same things to say. The drums and the bass were hot to me. They kind of dominated the front part of the track. The intro vocals too far away, couldn't really hear them well. The intro guitar too far away. And then there was, this kind of odd, where is everybody in the space? And that changed a little bits here and there. And, that's a cool technique to use, but, there was at one point this discussion when Daniel Lanois started to do it, and the engineers started to say that he would go up to the mixing board at some points in the mix and just randomly turn knobs here and there, and that became this kind of cool idea in music for everybody to be more random and be kind of renegade at how you approach the mixing console, and just know that sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, sometimes it leaves your track really feeling like it's random, Good band, really solid playing, very tight. And then I'm going to echo Ian on he said meandering. I wrote rambly. It's a rambly song. I have to be honest, the 70s and the classic rock that came out of it is one of my least favorite periods in music, mostly because of the rambly part. If you don't have a great hook, you probably don't have a great song. The hook, like I tell all my students, if you're writing, your hook has to be the thing that anchors your whole song. It's the thing that everybody wants to hear, that everybody sings along to. If it's not memorable, if they're not singing along to it, if it takes 10 listens for you to figure it out what it is, it's not a strong hook. And I thought this song had, some slightly defined sections, but nothing there really anchoring the song into something that you really feel like, man, I want to listen to that again. So to me, it sounded rambly, like it just didn't have a strong idea, and so it kind of moved through a couple things and then ended. So that would be my primary criticism. Good band, though. Really, really good band. Solid players. You can tell they've played together. Tight, solid kicks when there were kicks. So some really good stuff. But, also not my cup of tea, but I would say if you're going to fix it in some way, probably fix that structure. Go back. Is there a melodic idea that works better? Can we make that better? And it might mean that you need to change some of the harmony. This is a very old-fashioned chorus in terms of the harmony. These changes that to me, they feel stretched. They feel like you're trying to make something more interesting. And that's also a real strong characteristic of the 70s. And it sticks out a little bit when you use it now. But yeah, there was some stuff to like. Not a bad band at all. Not nuts about the song, but other than that.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks for your honesty. Track number 3 is called, let's bring it up here. It's called Vice City from a group called Off Orbit. And we appreciate Off Orbit sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. All right. Now I'm going to throw it over to the panel. Let them discuss it amongst themselves where everybody can hear, of course. But they're going to decide on a song of the week. So will it be song number 1, song number 2, or song number 3? Of course, we want everybody in the chat room to let us know what you think as well. MusicSceneInvestigation.com/witness. And we'll bring results of that next week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take over and let me know your selection.
All right, I'm going to jump in this week.
Go ahead, but I just got a pinky. I voted and I played the Ocarina.
I haven't voted, and I play the spoons.
That's okay. You have a chance to vote now.
Okay. Right. I'm going to jump in this week. I've got a feeling I know where this is going, so I'm going to go left of centre. And I'm going to go with track number 1. You know, we often talk about production. We often talk about mixing. And a lot of the time, you know, a good mix or a good production will outwin maybe the better song. But purely for the creativity of song number 1 and the fact that they're British, I'll throw that in just because I am as well. I'm going to go with that because it is creative and it's different and it's not like everything that we hear here. We hear a lot of hip hop. We hear a lot of sort of country stuff. We don't hear much like we heard number 1, and I liked it. So number 1 for me, please.
All right. Tommy, Andrea, what are your thoughts?
I'm sure Andrea's heard this many, many times. Ladies first.
Oh, thank you, Tommy. This is hard this week. This is hard. Like we keep saying, this just keeps getting harder around here. I really like both 1 and 2. I'm ruling out number 3 for the reasons I just mentioned, but I really like both of them. I like number 2 because I think it's so solid, and other than maybe changing this hook line in lyrically, it's a really great track. It's just something that stuck out as being so lovingly cared for and done right that it's hard for me not to give it props for that. And then I also agree with Ian about number 1. It's interesting. It's unique. To me, it had some little issues though. I like Tommy. I didn't like the groove in the with the pattern. There was issues there for me, and I thought that it could be that more could be done with it in terms of the structure. So I think, having said that, I'm going to go with number 2, because though it is definitely about some of it about the production, I think it was done to its style. It was done pretty close to perfectly, and I like to reward that kind of excellent attention. So I'm going with 2.
All right. Well, Tommy, it's up to you to either make or break a tie, and I'm going to let you give out your thoughts and your selection right now.
Well, remember that money we paid you, Tom.
Yeah. Unfortunately, number 3 falls by the wayside very early. But band, like everybody said, is solid, and just get the songwriting is solid, and the presentation is solid, and they'll have something very presentable. Number 2, like I said, is just a little too bright and hashy, but that can be fixed very easily in mastering. And as you know, as Andrea said, the attention to the detail and the spatial playing around, I really, really liked. Number 1, I mean, that is so close. It is very, very original, and I love the groove idea, and I said I had no problem with the impact of the sounds. It's just it didn't lock, and if it had locked, you know, again, it would have been something that could have been done in mastering. So rather than make a tie, I will break a tie and bring out my bow tie and agree with Andrea and say number 2, because really, just bring it to a really sweet mastering house and it's good to go. And as much as I found that hook a little mundane or whatever, you know, hey, people, I remember where I was in 1999, and
Yeah, you remember where you were in 1899 too, Tommy.
And 1799 and 1699. But yeah, I'll have to go with number 2 because it's that too.
All right. Well, there you have it. Tommy breaks the tie. Number 2 by Jon Oh. Dance Party 99 is our song of the week. And we'll find out, Ian. We'll find out what everybody else thinks from their witness statements during the MSI quiz party next week. And just a reminder that this track from Jon Oh goes on to our Band of the Month MSI hit list next month with 3 others, and they'll compete for prizes, PR packages from our sponsor and our partners over at Live to Play Network, Butterflies Radio, Indie Music Bus, and of course Landar.com, where they'll receive a 1-year pro account. Mastering made easy over at Landar.com, LANDR.com. You want to try it out for free, see if it will work out for you. Click on that LANDR.com, Landar.com link right below our live window at MusicSceneInvestigation.com, and you can try it out as well. All right, Tommy, thanks for being here, my friend. Always great to see you.
It was my pleasure. Great to see Ian. Always great to see Andrea. Nothing against James, but
yeah, you're sweet on Andrea. We know this.
I've always been. I'm a big fan of very intelligent and very independent women, and I'm a sucker. What can I tell you?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Ian, Andrea, thank you both for being here as well. And everybody out in the audience, want to thank you for being here, and certainly hope you'll join us again next week. Next week's pretty special. We've got Ian. He's emceeing the first ever MSI quiz night. It's going to be fairly interesting, I think, based upon some of the hints he's given out.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I can't wait.
You care to give out any other hints, Ian, while we're still here?
No more hints. Just it's going to be a fun time. And Andrea, I need you to.
Somebody's calling in with a new question.
Andrea, I need you to get your own personal sound for the show. You're going to need a buzzer of some kind.
Okay.
That could be an instrument, a clanger, whatever you wish, really.
Okay, I can do that.
Just grab your dog and pull his tail. He'll bark, and that will be perfect.
It might work.
You never know.
It might work.
You never know. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you again next time right here on Music Scene Investigation. We're going to play out with Jon Oh's Dance Party 99. As we say so long for this week, we'll see you next time right here on Music Scene Investigation, everyone. Thank you.
So long for this week.
Bye.
Her apart, credit cards been stolen, car GPS, all a bad dream. But I'm in the club fresh, man, your doggy had the blunt and hit my chest and made my face all ugly. 2-step through the crowd, all the way to the bar. Now my cup run up over, holla bless to the gods and my squad, cause we more Gucci Mane, Lil Wayne, Castellano, John Gotti, is you feeling me, man? Think thing up in front of me, I caught my chick feel, she turned around and took the blunt from me, and now it's full of innocence, the one that can't. Quickly cut loose and hit a killer dance move. We gon' party like it's 99. 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 Jon Oh, baby, I'm the rap game prince, and I don't wanna if she don't got some French tips. They say I'm petty for so many reasons. I call it seasoning. Your missus dash with my accent. Now she's heated. You drop my soap, but I don't need it. I'm that sweetness, no roll, bounce. If my dogs bark, it will be bow. Wow, everyone else still hit the floor. Even me if I hit the dough. It's like we gaining grand hustle. Everyone hit your draw. It's a
shimmering like that Twilight actor. Watching fans overdose like, damn, I did that, bro.
We gon' party like it's 99. We gon' party like it's 99.